ambassadors of United States, thanks for providing me an opportunity to talk about the U.S. aid for the Pakistan's military. According to a report, given that Pakistan will remain a key player in counter-terrorism post-2014, the U.S. has proposed US dollars 280 million in military assistance to Pakistan. Although it wants to cut civilian aid in an effort to acknowledge India's concern about misuse of funds. The Obama administration has proposed to substantially cut civilian aid to Pakistan to US dollars 446 million for the next fiscal year, as against US dollars 703 million in 2013, which, among other things, the State Department argued is aimed at improving ties with India. The OCO, Overseas Contingency Operations resources will support critical US activities such as sustaining close cooperation with Pakistan, ensuring the safety of Pakistani nuclear installations, working with Pakistan to facilitate the peace process in Afghanistan, and promoting improved relations with India. This is said by the State Department as it proposed US dollar 446 million in civilian aid to Pakistan. Fiscal year 2015, a year to come, funding for Pakistan is crucial to meeting key US strategic priorities of combating terrorism, strengthening security in both Pakistan and the region, and maintaining stability in Afghanistan post-transition, as the US Department of State says. Pakistan will remain a key partner in US counter-terrorism and nuclear non-proliferation efforts in fiscal year 2015, as well as in our long-term objectives of economic development and stability in the region, as announced by the State Department in its annual budget proposals to the Congress. Developing and enduring and collaborative relationships with an increasingly stable and prosperous Pakistan that plays a constructive role in the region will therefore continue to be priority for the United States. So the State Department proposed US dollar 100 million to Pakistan under the Economic Support Fund, ESF, for the fiscal year 2015. Under the Foreign Military Financing, FMF, Foreign Military Financing category, the US maintained US dollars 280 million in military aid to Pakistan for the fiscal year 2015, beginning in this month of October 2014. Given the ongoing transition in Afghanistan and continued terrorist attacks against civilian and military targets throughout Pakistan, FMF is essential to Pakistan's efforts to increase stability in its western border. In its western border region, and ensure overall stability within its own borders, as the US Department announced. The US dollars 280 million Pakistan requests will enhance the Pakistan Army, Frontier Corps, Air Force, and Navy's ability to conduct counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism operations against militants throughout its borders, and will improve Pakistan's ability to deter threats emanating from those areas and encourage continued US-Pakistan military-to-military engagement, the department announced. The OCO supports a robust diplomatic presence and critical assistance programs to support the government and its people following Pakistan's first democratic transition. These funds will help facilitate increased stability and prosperity in this strategically important nation and will enable us to sustain a presence necessary to achieve essential strategic priorities of eliminating terrorism and enhancing stability in Pakistan and the region following the transition in Afghanistan. This was announced by the State Department, and it states that Pakistan lies at the heart of US counter-terrorism strategy, the peace process in Afghanistan, nuclear non-proliferation efforts, and economic integration in South and Central Asia. So, based on these statements of the US Department of State, we believe that in next year, in 2015, both United States and Pakistan will work together as friends, military to military assistance in the shape of money or in the shape of moral support. That will be a good tie between the Pakistan's armed forces and the United States. There is a debate that the gap between Pakistan's armed forces and the United States, or the government of the United States, or the CIA, that gap increased in last 6 to 7 years after the departure of the former government of General Musharraf. So there are so many reasons behind it, like May 2nd, 2011's incident, Sahala Post incident, and some other misunderstandings between the United States and Pakistan. So, as I said, and I just read the announcement of the US Department of State, I would like to conclude that there is a good time coming to reduce the gap between the Pakistan's armed forces and the United States in near future, because many actors within the state and out of the state of Pakistan, or the enemies of Pakistan, they are getting the benefit of this gap between the Pakistan's armed forces and the United States. From the year 1999, or I would say from the year 2000 to 2008, we have seen a collaboration of United States and Pakistan's armed forces, and they work together to eliminate terrorism from the world, from Afghanistan and from Pakistan. But after 2008 and 9 and till now in 2014, we have seen
आगे बढ़ते सब बदलते मंजिल को पालेंगे हम इतना तो हमें गम है ये दुनिया हमसे कम है ऐसा करते चले दिल से दिल जुड़ते जाए
Mobile Noida attend. Experience the change.
आप है हमारी डोमेस्टिक इंजीनियर जो करती है हर काम नए तरीके से और अपनाती है डोलन्स लो वोल्टेज एयर कंडीशनर्स जो काम करे 155 वोल्ट्स पर भी बिना स्टेबलाइजर। डोलन्स एंड न्यू, मेकिंग पाकिस्तान प्राउड।
चुप चुप से घबराए से बैठे हैं सब उकताए से। ओपनिंग का जादू चला दे, फोन पे इंटरनेट दिखा दे। यूं चले के बल्ले बल्ले, इनकी दुनिया तू बदल ले। चले के बल्ले बल्ले, इनकी दुनिया तू बदल के चलता चल। इस पर टीवी देखो चाहे हर पल सीन बदलता जाए। ओ इस पर सुनते जाओ गाने नए नए भी और पुराने। यूं चले के बल्ले बल्ले, इनकी दुनिया तू बदल के चलता चल। तरह तरह के खेल खेलो, औरों को भी साथ खिलाओ। सबकी हर पल खबर में रखो, हर पल अपना हाल बताओ। शहर हो या गाँव, गली या मोहल्ले। यूं चले के बल्ले बल्ले, इनकी दुनिया तू बदल ले। चले के बल्ले बल्ले, इनकी दुनिया तू बदल ले। चले के बल्ले बल्ले, इनकी दुनिया तू बदल के चलता चल।
क्या आपका एसी कम पावर पर चल सकता है? क्या वो ज्यादा इफेक्टिव कूलिंग कर सकता है? क्या आप उसको घर में स्मार्टफोन से डायरेक्टली वाईफाई के साथ और इंटरनेट के जरिए दुनिया में कहीं से भी कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं? नहीं? तो ले आए ओरिएंट एयर कंडीशनर, इसलिए कि ये है रियली स्मार्ट।
Introducing Orient Econotech Series Air Conditioners.
ओरिएंट, लिव इन इनोवेशन।
सेफगार्ड सेहत सफाई प्रोग्राम अपने मिशन पर।
मेरा नाम मिस समाविया है। मैं क्लास 2 की टीचर हूँ और मेरी क्लास में 20 बच्चे हैं। आलिया, हैदर। अक्सर इनमें से 2-4 बीमारी के बायस एब्सेंट रहते हैं और कुछ बच्चे तो क्लास के दौरान ही पेट दर्द की शिकायत करते हैं। बच्चे तो आखिर बच्चे हैं, जो हाथ लगा उसे मुंह में डाल लिया और हाथ से ही नाक पोंछ ली। जाहिर है इस तरह जरासीम तो बीमारी फैलाएंगे ही। मुझे खुशी है कि सेफ गार्ड ने स्कूलों में सेहत और सफाई मिशन शुरू किया है। अब हर बच्चा सही तरह से हाथ धोना जानता है। मेरी तमाम वालिदैन से अपील है कि वो भी सेफ गार्ड के इस मिशन में शामिल हों ताकि हम मिलकर बनाएं सेहतमंद पाकिस्तान, सेफ गार्ड पाकिस्तान।
टीवी पर
और 10 हाथों की शक्ति वाला सर्फ एक्सेल इजी वॉश के महीने भर के पैक का दाम भी गिरा 92 नहीं।
हम पूरी तरह तैयार हैं।
रिपोर्ट पक्की है?
बिल्कुल पक्की। कुल 20 करोड़ गाड़ियाँ। मुखबिर ने बताया।
वो देखो।
गाड़ियाँ?
नहीं, मुखबिर।
बाबू, टोयोटा करोला आएंगी, जरूर आएंगी, पर इस तरह नहीं। पहले अपने यूफोन में 200 रुपए का बैलेंस डालो।
जी हाँ, इस बार फिर यूफोन शाहकार ऑफर से आप जैसे 20 खुशनसीब कस्टमर्स को बजरिया कुरानंदाजी मिलेगी। 20 शानदार टोयोटा करोला बस 20 मई तक सिर्फ 200 रुपए का बैलेंस रिचार्ज करें। ये ऑफर मौजूदा नए और यूफोन नेटवर्क पर मुंतकिल होने वाले तमाम प्रीपेड कस्टमर्स के लिए है।
ओ ये तो मेरी बारात की गाड़ियाँ हैं, इनाम वाली गाड़ियाँ तो शोरूम पर हैं। तुम क्या समझते हो, इस तरह से मेरे बारातियों को रोक लोगे? चलो भाइयों, खाना लग गया है।
That there has been a gap between the two. I mean, the Pakistan's armed forces and the United States. So now we would like to campaign to make a bridge between Pakistan's armed forces and the United States for the years to come, starting from 2014. In November 2014 we are going to launch a campaign to portray a positive image of the Pakistan's armed forces in front of the world community, and to deliver a message to the United States that post 2014 circumstances, in post 2014 circumstances, US will need the support of the Pakistan's armed forces, and Pakistan armed forces have been friendly with the United States in the era of General Zia-ul-Haq and General Pervez Musharraf, and during some civilian rulers' time in Pakistan. So now the next years to come, in 2015 and 16, during the Obama's administration, we hope the Pakistan's armed forces and United States will repeat their tradition of friendship, strategic friendship, moral friendship, and as said and announced by the US Department of State, it's a financial friendship and a military aid for Pakistan to combat against terrorism in Afghanistan after the departure of US troops from Afghanistan. So it's very important for the politicians in Pakistan to realize that the three pillars of this battle, from a battle that started from a war and is ending to a peace, that started in the year 2001, and it took us almost 14 years. And after the departure of the US troops from Afghanistan, the civilian politicians in Pakistan, the Pakistan's armed forces, and the United States, they all have to work together to bring peace in the region. And we would like to advocate to have friendly relationships with the neighboring countries in the surroundings of Pakistan. United States wants to have the same relationships as the China has with Pakistan. United States is ready to give civilian and military aid to Pakistan for the years to come, just like China or even more than China. And Pakistan also welcomes the civilian and military aid, the moral support and friendship from China, from United States, and from the other Western countries in the world, including Great Britain. So it is very important to realize, to understand the importance of ties between Pakistan's armed forces and the United States. And if the both stakeholders, they have some sort of misunderstandings or something happened in the past, whoever is responsible, we have to forget and step ahead to start the year 2015 with a new program, with a new mission, with new aims to eliminate terrorism after the departure of US and NATO troops from Afghanistan. And we hope the government of Afghanistan, the government of Pakistan, and the Pakistan's armed forces and the security forces in Afghanistan, they will try their best to bring peace in the region. And we hope the Indian government, the new elected Indian government, will assist the Pakistan armed forces and the Indian armed forces together to eliminate terrorism. On the other hand, we would like to start a campaign to bring the people living in the tribal areas of Pakistan, to bring them to a peace process. We would like to request the United States, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, and India, and any other stakeholders to work together for the reconstruction of a new Afghanistan. And it's possible with the moral, financial, and strategic help by Pakistan. So this is not the time to fight and to keep the issues unresolved after the departure of the NATO forces from Afghanistan. So it's the time to realize that any conflict between India and Pakistan, or between the Pakistani civilian political parties and armed forces, or between the armed forces of Pakistan and United States, or between the armed forces of India and armed forces of Pakistan, it's not in the interest of the people living in the region. So we hope that all the four countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and United States, will realize the importance of this process in the region. And recent friendly relationships of United States with Iran and with Saudi Arabia, and good relationships of Great Britain with Iran, Saudi Arabia, and India and Pakistan, I think all the stakeholders will play a very important role to bring peace in the region. If we will not resolve the issue ahead of time and we will leave the issues unresolved, that will be more dangerous for us, for all the people in the region who want to live in a peaceful region. So the campaign is to have better relationships, initially between the Pakistan's armed forces and the United States, and to request both the stakeholders to sit and talk and resolve the issues. And this is the time for the government of India, the Indian armed forces, Pakistan's armed forces, and the government of Pakistan to sit, negotiate, and resolve the issues. Because if we will leave those things unresolved, that is very dangerous for the people of the three countries. So ending my speech with few words, we will hopefully be starting the campaign with the help of mostly youngsters and students from all over Pakistan for a peace walk in the favor of Pakistan's armed forces and for the peace and for the friendly relationships between Pakistan and the United States. And one more thing is very important, that recently the Freedom March and the Revolution March in Pakistan started from August 14th, 2014, and still those sit-ins are there in Islamabad and in the rest of the country. It's better that we resolve such issues before the departure of NATO troops from Afghanistan, and we have to realize and we have to solve the problems of the common people in Pakistan. We have to reduce domestic violence, child labor. We are against child labor and against we are for the rights of the women in Pakistan, for the empowerment of the women, and we are against extremism. But we want all that with the help of Pakistan's armed forces, the civil society, the political parties, the media, the electronic and the print media, the judiciary in Pakistan. And we are requesting the civil society in India, especially the Indian students and the youngsters, to understand that any conflict between India and Pakistan is not in the favor of the two countries. and any conflict between Afghanistan, Pakistan and India is not again in the interest of any country. And I hope the United States and the Great Britain and its allies will understand this very important message, and very soon we will be in touch with U.S. senators. We have been asked, we have been supported by some of the senators in the U.S. Senate to assist us for the peace campaign, and we hope the Pakistan's armed forces. We are in touch with some people in the Pakistan armed forces. We are in touch with some people in the U.S. government to resolve the issues with the peace process very soon, and the people of Pakistan are ready to shake hands with other countries in the world on the basis of mutual respect and dignity. Thank you.